we saw Chris Paul got released. They haven't officially, I don't know all the full context what they're doing with him right now. I know they're trying to figure out probably a scenario where he can go where he can finish his career off. I know he kind of mentioned he doesn't know yet, but he's just kind of working out, being with his family. Do you think the Clippers organization is selfish for making this move with Chris Paul, knowing that he's already announced, this is going to be his last year? Or do you think, from what we don't know, from an internal standpoint, that maybe Chris has some things to do, or was kind of the cause of why he got let go in this situation?
I guess two. I think it's a scenario where two things could be true
Mm,
because we don't have the full context of whatever happened, whatever conflict existed between him and the organization. From what I did hear, it sounded like he and Ty Lue weren't on the same page, and that there had
bumping
been some
heads.
friction between him and Ty Lue,
Mm,
between him and Stan Van Gundy, and it sounded like maybe Chris was overstepping his boundaries and stepping on, the toes of some of the coaching staff. And so I can imagine as someone in that coaching staff seat, how uncomfortable that could be, especially coming from Chris
mm,
Paul because he is such a veteran and he is so knowledgeable. So it's not like what he's saying and suggesting is, untrue, right? But it does feel like
right.
sometimes you're stepping outside of your role as a player and maybe create or gaining too much leeway from what Stan Van
Yeah.
Gundy had said. But I don't think that that justifies cutting him at 3 a.m. in the morning. This is a
No.
20-year plus vet who was a large part of building the legacy and the culture there in LA.
Hmm.
He was a part of a team that had an opportunity to win. And so to treat him
It just
that
didn't
way and
happen.
to
Yeah.
release him in that matter, yeah, I thought that was kind of unacceptable.
Yeah, and it's strange, bro. Like, and this is where I wish more front office would come to the front, and like I wish they would have done a press conference. I'm not saying you got to spend this whole press conference only
Yep.
talking about Chris, but when you have situations like that, there should be a press conference to where you start to address things that's going on with the team. And I get there are certain things you can't say, you can't release because sometimes giving out too information can cause, the wrong things to not be
Greater
able to
backlash,
transpire.
right?
Yep. Or when it comes to trades, now teams have a one up on you. But if I'm speaking from a fan perspective, and I'm a Clippers fan, I'm hurt because I'm like, man, this is the last time I'm going to be able to see Chris Paul. And Chris Paul is the
Mm,
first ballot Hall of Famer. And so now you're sitting there
without
telling
doubt.
me that I may have purchased tickets to go see Chris play. I probably made plans to go watch this man play. And I want to see him go out on a good note. And it just kind of sucks where we've seen some of these farewell tours not be what people have wanted them to
Right.
be. And Kobe, man, Kobe kind of he messed this up for everybody because he got that tour
Yeah.
and now but the thing is, bro, we have a lot of greats. Like we have Hall of Famers that are playing currently in the NBA. Like currently, like LeBron James, first ballot. Like he could probably be a Hall of Fame right now.
CP
Kevin
first
Durant,
ballot.
Steph
Yep.
Curry,
Steph
CP.
first ballot.
You
Yep.
can put them in right now. Russ, James Harden, you can put them in right now as they're currently playing. And so from that fan perspective, bro, like that would be kind of hurtful for me to kind of see that happening. But also, we all know Chris Paul is a very, very smart player. And there's
Hmm.
been things that we've heard about how he can be in the locker room. Now, on one end, is it like, do you just ride this thing to where it's like, you know what, hey, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. I'm gonna make sure I can go on a good note. Or is it just, hey, I'm still gonna be this competitor. I still want to try to win. I'm still gonna talk. And I think that's where, to your point, it gets sticky. I'm the 10th man on the eighth, ninth, 10th man on the roster. So how much do I really need to be
Mm.
saying? And I don't feel like they got a bunch of young guys over there to where he can kind of like mentor and grab on and okay, here's a young point guard, here's a Shea that I can talk to and get him prepared. And if you're losing, you're bumping heads with someone who's not a starter anymore, as a coach, as an organization, whoever that may be. So from that perspective, I'm pretty sure Clippers and Ty Lue, they don't want to hear like we losing. I don't want to hear what you're talking about. Um,
And I guess that's what made it kind of confusing
so
because
it's
you're right.
weird.
they have a primarily veteran-led roster. So I would have thought that it would be easier
to just
to
keep
have
him.
strategic conversations. Yeah, because
Mm.
and all of you have been here before. James, you've been in the league for a while now.
Every last one
Kawhi,
of
you've been
y'all.
in the league for a while now. All of you guys have been around for 10 plus years.
Yeah.
I thought, speaking from Chris Paul's perspective, I'm sure he thought that he at least had enough cachet with other veterans that you can have really confrontational conversations and it still manifests in something
And they're
positive
still okay.
on the
Yeah.
floor. But I don't know. We're also in a time now where you have to be a lot more sensitive
Yeah.
with what you say and how you say it.
And I hope that they can all maybe one day come to the front and kind of say what happened. I don't want to see Chris Paul go out the way where it's just he just fades away and then no one remembers who he was. But also I thought because they're losing, that should have made it easier to keep him. Like, what are you going to gain from letting Chris Paul go? Unless it just got that bad between Ty Lue and
Right.
Chris and that organization. It's like, you know what? Like, we can't allow. We've already lost a season. The season's probably already wrapped, and they're probably already thinking trades. Trades with getting Kawhi gone, maybe James Harden. They're probably ready to blow that team up. So if that is the only way that I can think is the reason why they let him go is like, hey, we're going to blow this whole team up anyway. And Chris is being a detriment to what we may want to try to get here in the future.
Now
Let's
that's a
just let
great
him
point.
go, figure it out. So that would be the only thing that I can think of as to be the reason why. I just wish the front office would be able to come out, have a press conference to say some of these things because you know they're going to ask the players all the time, like, "Hey, what happened? Why did this go down? Why did this?" When in all reality, the front office has the control of all these things happening. So that
Yeah.
can make
I
it tricky.
mean, the decision may have been right, but the way they handled it, I still thought was unprofessional.